This is TY back with another video, and today I wanted to talk about Teofimo Lopez. Today I wanted to talk about how he just keeps coming up with more excuses. I think this came out yesterday. He came out saying about how that this was all a setup as far as him to lose his titles, and that it was all gained for Devin Haney to win the titles, all the belts. For him to lose against George Kambosos in his last fight. All of it just sounds ridiculous, man, for what T.O. is saying at this point. The man, I think he fought back in November against George Kambosos, I think. And the man has not taken a loss very well. There's been several excuses from him and from his dad and from everybody else. They said that his esophagus blew up. They said that he had 300 pounds of pressure in his lungs. They said that, he wasn't feeling right before the fight. He's saying that, he should have moved up in weight. He should have never fought at 135 much longer. He should have moved up to 140. Excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. The man has so many excuses, man, as to why he lost this fight. But he's not taking the responsibility of saying, you know what, he didn't do what he was supposed to do. He didn't prepare for this fight, for one. Second of all, he was the one that was out here guaranteeing that he was going to knock George Kambosos out in the first round. And then you could clearly see in the first round, he was going right after George Kambosos, trying to knock him out. And he ends up getting knocked down. And he did get a knockdown in that fight, but ultimately he ended up losing the fight. But let's just call it for what it is. Teofimo Lopez did not take the fight serious. And also on top of that, Teofimo, had an ego after he beat Vasyl Lomachenko for the belts a couple years ago. After he beat him, he just got an ego. He got entitled to thinking that, you know what, I'm the man. I deserve this. I deserve that. I deserve a lion's share of money. And he thought that he was this big boxing star, which clearly he wasn't. The fight supposed to have happened last year, I want to say, or some earlier last year, not earlier last year. It was supposed to happen between him and George Kambosos earlier last year than November of last year. But they had network problems, and they had also problems with people, trying to get the fight to which network it was going to be at. At first, it looked like it was going to be on Top Rank, but then it ended up being on Triller. But then Triller didn't have the money for the fight because the fight kept getting pushed back. It was in the summertime, then it was pushed back to this date, to that date. And then overall, they just said, you know what, we don't want this fight no more. The fight wasn't selling. I was reading about the tickets wasn't selling for the fight. Other fights was replacing their fight, like the Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul fight. So, yeah, he wasn't the big star that he thought he was. And so DAZN picked up the fight, and he fought in November, and then he lost. And then ever since then, it's been excuses after excuses after excuses from George Kambosos. From Teofimo Lopez. He's just clearly, I don't know what's wrong, but it's just like he's just not trying to accept defeat. And I just remember how when Deontay Wilder lost the second fight, everybody said that, oh, Wilder was making excuses. He's saying that somebody put something in his drink. Oh, that the gloves were messed up, and everybody was bashing Wilder for what his excuses was. But they weren't excuses. They were clearly something was wrong. But in Teofimo's case, nobody is coming out and saying that hey, you know, Teofimo, you're making too many excuses. All else just excuse after excuse after excuse. You know, let's stop with the excuses. No one's doing that. Everybody's just letting him ride. So, who knows what Teofimo is going to do next? There's rumors out there saying that he's going to probably try to move up to 140. But who knows? I don't know. I don't even know, you know, can he even fight again if he has all these excuses and all these problems, you know? But we'll see what happens with Teofimo. But his statement that he said about how it was all set up for Devin Haney to get all the belts. Well, obviously that's not true at all. Anybody that's been under a rock knows that Devin Haney has been working with the Zone for some fights now. Devin Haney is his own man. He is not, you know, under the Zone network. He is actually, you know, he's his own boss, you know. And the thing that Teofimo gotta understand is that there's just no way that could happen, because the fight that has been announced, that between Devin Haney and George Kambosos for all the belts for Undisputed, is not going to be on the Zone. It's going to be on Top Rank on ESPN. So, and Devin Haney is going to be on there for 3 fights. So if everything was designed for Devin Haney, was all set up for Devin Haney to win all the belts, wouldn't Devin Haney be on the Zone right now? And wouldn't he be fighting for those belts then? And not on ESPN? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense at all. That's a weak excuse, and that's a false excuse. That's not even true. It's not even accurate. So the excuses that Teofimo has been making, man, is ridiculous. Teofimo needs to sit down somewhere. He needs to really think about what he's going to do for his career, whether or not he's going to fight anymore, or what's he going to do now. Because him making all these excuses after this fight with George Kambosos, man, it ain't looking good. But like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about what Teofimo has been doing as of late, and you know, the excuses that he's been making. Let me know what you guys think. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Peace.